is now being recorded.
So good afternoon, namaskar and welcome to all the fellow educators. My name is 𝒆𝒉𝒊 and I'm the founder and leader of Google Educator Group GG Daily West. Meena ma'am, and I have my co-leader Meena ma'am. She is also present here. And for those who may be joining us for the first time, let me provide an overview of what exactly is Google Educator Group, which is also known as GEG. So Google Educator Group, GEG help bring educators together and support them in learning, sharing, inspiring, and empowering each other. GEGs provide a platform for teachers to collaborate, allowing them to learn new and creative ideas from each other and also assist each other in meeting the needs of their students inside and outside the classroom. I now request Meena ma'am, my co-leader, to formally welcome and give a brief introduction of Mr. Swaraj, who is our today's session expert. Give me a second. I'm getting a call from Meena ma'am. Maybe some technical issues she's facing. Yeah, Meena ma'am is actually facing some technical issues. So let me only introduce Mr. Swaraj. So I'm thrilled to introduce Mr. Swaraj Manchanda, our distinguished session expert for today's webinar on the topic higher order thinking skills, the practical applications in the classroom and beyond. Currently, Mr. Swaraj is serving as the assistant professor at IP University. With a wealth of experience and expertise in the realm of education, Mr. Manchanda brings a unique perspective to our discussion on HOTS. Mr. Manchanda boasts a remarkable 7 years of teaching experience at the college level, specializing in numerical and practical subjects for BBA and BCom honors. Beyond the classroom, he has also honed his skills through tutoring and has conducted enlightening sessions on HOTS at various prestigious institutions. His proficiency extends to various educational tools such as Wakelet, Kami, EduPuzzle, and Book Create. Furthermore, Mr. Manchanda's passion for mentorship is evident as he has guided numerous students on their academic journey. So please join us to welcoming Mr. Swaraj, whose expertise and passion are sure to make today's session both insightful and engaging. So over to you, Mr. Swaraj.
Thank you so much
Welcome.
for this warm welcome and regard. Highly appreciated. Coming from your mouth, it means a lot. Uh, so, all the faculty members who are here, all the teachers who are here, a very warm welcome to you. As you all know, the topic is a bit interesting and challenging. It's high order thinking skills, practical applications in classroom and beyond. My screen is already shared with you. I am going to the PPT and I am making it full slideshow mode. Just wait. Okay. I hope this is visible to everybody. Sir, if you can
Yeah,
confirm.
you can continue.
Yeah. Okay. So, sir has already introduced me. My name is Swaraj Manchanda. I am an assistant professor from IP University. And topic for today is high order thinking skills, practical applications in classroom and beyond. So, HOTS or high order thinking skills is basically about these words which are coming in front of you in the screen. We need to develop creative thinking in the students. We need to develop critical thinking in the students. We need to develop problem solving skills of the students. We need to make them go out of the book, out of the context, so that they can be good decision makers, they can be good leaders, they can be, those wise people for whom we give good remarks, like Einstein or like Newton. We want such people more and more. And it would be an honor if they come from countries like India, who are developing but promising. So HOTS is all about that only. Before I go into the deep of the topic, I would like to have a small discussion with you regarding a picture. I would like you to see this picture, and then I'll ask you two questions. I hope this picture is visible to everybody. Is this picture visible to everyone? You, sir, if you can open up the chat.
Picture is not visible. Your screen, the presentation is only visible.
Okay, sir, wait. Just
Yeah, please. I've already responded. So, educators, please avoid using the chat box.
Is it visible, sir? Is it navigating now?
No, it is not visible. You can use your full screen mode if you want. This is your third slide. Just analyze the picture Fox, but picture is not available.
Okay. Just wait, sir. Just wait for that.
So that cycle picture is on the next screen if you want that, or you can skip that.
Yeah, just wait for a while, sir. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So all the teachers are requested to just observe this picture for a while and just tell me what direct questions come into your mind when you see this picture. Somebody's mic is switched on. I request you to please switch off the mic. Yeah, so just observe this picture for a while and just try to find out what direct questions come into your mind when you observe this picture based on mere observation, nothing else. You can note it on a notepad, you can note it in your phone, you can just keep up in your mind. Yeah, so I'm getting some responses in the chat. Who is riding the bicycle? Is it a rainy day? What is the weather? How do you do cycling? I'm asking only those questions which come on the basis of observation. No indirect twisted questions. Only direct questions. When you see this picture, only direct questions that come into your mind, just write them down in the chat. Okay. So some people have written direct questions and some people have written indirect questions. We have intelligent people. They are writing both the types of questions. They have covered both the levels of thinking patterns that I wanted to tell. Okay. So when you observe this picture, there must be some direct questions that come into your mind like this. What is the weather? What is the boy doing in the picture? What is the background of the picture? What is the boy wearing? Who is driving? What vehicle is he driving? All these questions can come into the mind of even a small kid, 4 to 5 year old kid. Even he can also ask these questions. What is he wearing? What weather is it? What is he doing in the picture? These questions, they represent no analysis, no evaluation, no critical thinking. They are merely based on observation. They are merely based on your old acquired knowledge, understanding, and application of that knowledge. When you ask such direct questions, they come under low order thinking level or lots, low order thinking skills. You don't require analysis, you don't require any hypothesis, you don't require any research, you don't require to go into too much depth of it, you do not require any imagination for it. Mere observation and these questions will pop up in your mind. Now let us again come back to this picture, and now let us try to find out indirect questions. twisted questions. Already some of you have mentioned in the chat, like, you know, why is this boy riding cycle in such a weather? Is he struggling for something? Is there any emergency? And, you know, there are many things people are asking related to his posture, related to the weather, but these are not direct questions. These are indirect questions. When we ask such indirect questions, then we have to go out of the box and validate that hypothesis based on our observation, based on our experience, based on our gut feeling, based on our research. These type of indirect questions that require analysis, evaluation, judgment, critic, creativity of something, synthesis. There are some examples which I have listed here. Why is the boy riding bicycle in this rain? Is he happy with his life and enjoying in the rain? That's why he's cycling. Or is he hurrying or rushing up in some case of emergency? We can have both the views depending upon the picture. Somebody will say that there must be some good news. His sister might be getting married and he just got the information. So he's rushing to buy sweets. Somebody might say that his grandmother is ill. That's why he is rushing. Okay. So we can have different views based on this observation and different indirect questions based on this picture. And these are called high order thinking skill based questions or HOTS questions. So when you ask questions related to high order thinking, you have to be bit analytical, you have to be bit evaluative, you have to use critical thinking, you have to go out of the box. These questions affect three thinking patterns: analysis, evaluation, and creativity. They require advanced level thinking. And now I am focusing on one word which is called thinking. Many people, they know what is the meaning of the term thinking, but today we'll go to the thinking from a different perspective. This is the formal definition of thinking. It's a process. It is done by brain in real time. Right now I'm telling you something, you are processing it in your mind, you are correlating it with the facts you have studied related to HOTS, with your knowledge related to HOTS, and you are trying to figure out कि ये session हमें कैसे help करेगा, how will it help us, how will it help us in implementing it in the classroom. Right now your mind is posing several questions, which is a part of thinking. It's a process. We are using the previously acquired knowledge, we are using our mindset, intuition, experiences in order to find out answers for certain critical matters, take decisions, do judgment, solve critical and crucial problems of life. Thinking is the essential part of for the teacher.
Check this out. Are you moving your presentation? Only cycle view is visible to us.
Sir, I'm moving my presentation.
It's not working actually. Now it is working.
Okay, might be some
Meaning
issue
of
with the
term
slideshow,
thinking.
sir.
Maybe. Huh.
So should I use slideshow or should I use this?
Use this only if you find that is difficult. Yeah, it is a process of using your mind. That
Yeah.
is what we can see now.
Yeah. Okay. So I already told you this definition, and thank you, sir, for giving me this idea that it's not working. Okay. So this is the process of using your mind, your intuition, your experience, your past judgments to come on to the conclusion for certain crucial matters. And as teachers, we are always surrounded with this term thinking. We need thinking to make our students fall for academics. This is the biggest challenge for us. When they are exposed with Netflix, when they're exposed with Hotstar, when they're exposed with smartphones, 5-year-old kids are able to do Chromecast on the smart TV better than us, then that is the biggest challenge for us. How do we make them fall for academics? They love to play games on tab, they love to play games on Android, they love to play games on Apple iOS, but they don't want to read the books. Here we need thinking. How can we make our classroom so interesting that they don't bunk the class, they don't take leaves, they try to make a good academic record? This is where we need thinking. We need thinking to make them enthusiastic for sports. They are playing carom on the mobile, they are playing football on the mobile, they are playing hockey on the mobile, they are not going into the ground. Their physical development is restricted. They are only focusing on smart gadgets. We need thinking here to solve this problem. We need thinking in case of a specially able child who is very enthusiastic, who wants to go for Paralympics. Why not every school in India is producing it? When we have the capability, why we are not able to exploit it? These areas require thinking on the part of the teacher. Even the physical education teacher requires thinking. I was in my school, I was very short heighted, and I wanted to play football. I really loved that game, but I could not learn it properly because I was rejected due to my height, due to these issues that I won't be able to, tackle the ball from a good height. I won't be able to jump. I won't be able to face it. I got rejected in basketball. My sport related development is zero. And it is because the teachers were not able to gauge my need properly. I always felt that regret. And at one time, I disposed that physical education lecture. I used to bunk it. So this is where teachers need to think. And these are some real areas of life where we need to think as professionals, how we can face failures in personal and professional life. HOTS will help in overcoming these questions also. How can we be honest and ethical in decision making? How can we build a strong career and stable relations? We need higher order thinking in these questions also. We as teachers need thinking for ourselves also. And thinking looks like a real time exercise, but most people do not know that they are not thinking, they are judging. Carl Jung, a philosopher, he says that thinking is difficult exercise, that's why most people judge. Now let me elaborate this and let me prove it. I hope you guys can see a water bottle in front of you. Is it visible? Is this bottle visible to everybody? Okay. So just tell me, how much is it filled? Just tell me how much is it filled. So I'm getting many answers. 75, 70 to 80, more than half, three-fourth, 80. Somebody says completely filled. Now my next question is, how much is it filled with water? Firstly, I asked how much is it filled. For that, you need to remember class 9th, chapter 1, NCERT, science, matter surrounding us, air even fills the empty container. We as teachers forget the basics. And then we are expecting our students to be intellectual than us. This is the challenge. There is what we need thinking, not judgment. When I ask how much is it filled with water, then you should say 70 to 80% with water. But when I'm asking how much is it filled, the answer was completely filled. 70% with water, 20 to 30% with air. Now we come on to next example. I generally give these examples to my students because they think that a strong CV will land them up into a good job. No. Interviewer is observing many things. He is observing communication skills. He is observing confidence. He is observing analysis. He is observing many things. Let me just give you this situation. It's a good one. You can use it as a case study. Especially the psychology teachers, they can use it. English teachers, they can use it. Suppose an interview is going on the 11th floor of a building. The interviewer is calling every candidate and he's asking them simply one question. You want the job? Fine. That is the window. Jump from the window. I'll give you the job. Now, at that time, interview is so much pressurizing. Even if you are there in that situation, you will think, boss, job is not worth more than life. Let me say no and let me leave. I don't want this. He's mad. You start judging. He's saying jump from the window. He's not saying jump outside the window. You have to go to near the window and jump inside. And that was done by
A
one
lot
of
of
the
educators has given this answer. Jump inside the room. Many of educators are writing this. So they are using their intellectual actually here
yeah,
and their hot skills. Yeah.
yes. First of all, we have to develop those skills. Then only we can impart it to the students. And the problem is that these skills, they have to be learned every time, every day. You can't simply say that, even I am not an expert. Sir called me an expert, but still I am a learner. I'm not experienced more than sir. Sir is a doctorate. Sir has so much of experience in teaching school students. And I got in contact with him through LinkedIn only. And I have seen so much learning he does every day. I'm really a fan of Dr. Amit Bajaj because the way he upgrades his knowledge is amazing. And first of all, that passion has to be brought into the mindset of the teacher. Then only the teacher can impart it to the students. We reap what we have sown. This is a basic philosophy that goes every time in teaching. Now, this is another situation, an amazing situation. A guy fell in front of the interviewers before even entering into the room. See, you imagine you are coming, for an interview. You are very well prepared, all rectification done, all rote learning done. You are ready to answer all the questions. You enter the room and then suddenly you slip. Your confidence will be zero at that time. They will try to calm you down. They will give you water. They will try to calm your nervousness, and you'll be just stuck. You will forget all your answers. But this guy, when he fell down, and when the interviewers asked him, "Are you fine? Is everything all right? I hope you are not injured. Are you okay?" He gave a very amazing reply. And that reply shows person needs to be analytical and evaluative according to the situation. He says, even your company wants me so desperately that the gravitational pull is pulling me so hard that I slipped before entering in. This answer amazed the interviewers. They did not go through the CV. They went through his confidence and his analytical and evaluative powers. That your office gravity is pulling me in. Your office wants me desperately to be in. That's why I slipped. This confidence is required. If we bring this confidence in our students, we can produce Einstein, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett in good numbers, in good quantities. Our people are doing great in Western nations, but they need to be given that skill that they can do great in the country itself. They should not go abroad. I feel this. Our talent is going outside. Why? When it can do good in the country. So we need to bring that confidence in our kids. There's one more example. If you guys allow me, if you just post a thumbs up, or if you just say yes on chat, then I'll put this example. It's a very interesting example, commercial example. I told one of my students and he was amazed. It's related to marketing.
Yeah, please go ahead. Lot of thumbs ups.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you all. Thank
Manchanda
you all
sir,
for
can
your
you
appreciation.
just decrease, Manchanda sir,
Ji, ma'am.
can
Size,
you
screen
just
size.
decrease the size of slides
Yeah,
so that
yeah, yeah.
all can be visible?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Thanks.
Okay. So this was a question posed by an interviewer, not an interviewer, basically by an employer to one of his salesmen, that we want to increase the sales of XYZ toothpaste brand. We don't want any expenditure on ad. We don't want to change the quantity. We don't want to change the price. We don't want to alter the product, but we want to increase the sales of the product. How will you do it? Now he simply gave a logic. Sales is related to consumption of the toothpaste. More the consumption, more will be the sales. For consumption, we need to make toothpaste in such a way that people do not realize how much they are using it. And for this, he simply suggested one thing: increase the diameter of the mouth of the toothpaste. Just increase the diameter of that mouth. Somebody's mic is creating disturbance.
Some images also.
I, I
That's
think
not
I think
visible to us.
sir, it's your mic maybe. It's having some issues. Yeah. So he just simply increased the size of the mouth of the toothpaste tube and the lid. That's it. And in that, the sales of the paste started increasing because people, they are consuming more toothpaste at one time than they used to consume earlier without even knowing. The toothpaste started to consume more, started to sell more. Sales increased without doing any advertisement. He used simple mathematical logic, increase the diameter of the mouth of the tube. Now, when you discuss such questions with the students, now they'll be amazed. Many of the students, they ask me, what is the application of derivative and integration in our real life? Sir, I did so much rectification in 11th and 12th for formula for derivatives, formula for integrals. Even Amit sir must also have faced this issue. Students must have asked in future that, sir, we did a lot of struggle in maths. You know, you were there, we did a lot, but now we don't know where is maths being applied. Let me tell you where the maths is being applied. I have some interesting memes which will tell you where the maths is actually being applied. See, this is a cartoon. This is depicting that how much ever you differentiate ex with respect to x, it will remain same. First order, second order, third order, fourth order, you take any derivative, ex का कुछ नहीं बिगड़ेगा. If original potato is the function, then the derivative is the fries, and the double derivative is the chips extracted from the fries. Your real life is full of maths. We don't observe. We don't go around and see. While we are driving, when we are increasing the speed according to time, the acceleration is the derivative of speed, and speed is the derivative of distance. We are not relating the basics of the students with the derivative. That's why they feel stuck when derivatives comes into picture. And when integration comes, then they are completely mind blown. अभी तो डेरिवेटिव निकालना सीखा था, अब उसका उल्टा सीखना पड़ेगा. Okay, you peeled off an orange, it's derivative. You fix the peel again and make it raw orange, it's integration, reversal of derivative. Derivative of chicken is egg. You derive an egg from the chicken. And if you bring chicken out of egg again, that is integration. Now you might have got the answer, kaun pehle aaya? Chicken ya egg? Complex numbers, we cannot find their square root. If we tell them that, no, it's a negative number, I can't take negative numbers in. It is complex. Now these means then they can make your classroom interesting. These are related to higher level topics. Obviously, we cannot apply them everywhere. We cannot use them everywhere, but it's a good starting point for your subject. It will create interest of the student to learn more and more. Once interest is awakened, no, HOTS is not a challenge. HOTS is a challenge because his interest is zero. He does not like those questions. We have to create liking for the same. So these memes can be used to make subjects like derivative and integration a bit humorous and interesting. Okay. I hope I'm going okay with everybody. Everybody can listen to me and the PPT and all is visible and comfortable. I hope the session is going good. Yes, please respond. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for the appreciation, teacher. Means a lot. Means a lot. Okay. So let's continue with the same. As I told you, if we are able to work on HOTS properly, if we are able to develop good strategies for HOTS, and if you are able to make our classroom interactive and practical and connected with the real life commercial problems, then we can have personalities like Ratan Tata, Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk at home. HOTS enhances students' in-depth thinking acumen. That is why it is important. There's a famous child psychologist, Jean Piaget. He simply says, we don't want those men and women who are repeating what already people have done. Sometimes I don't realize what is the flaw with the Indian education system, why we are reading those NCERT books which are 30 to 40 years old. And the CBSE paper is getting tough and tough every year. They are getting more oriented to HOTS, but we are only applying NCERT. Either NCERT should bring HOTS or they should bring separate curriculum for HOTS. Then only we can produce such men and women. Else they will be doing repetition of what already the past generations have done. Education curriculum needs a very strong change. NEP is a good step in that process. NEP is indeed a good initiative. It is expected that it will bring good outcomes. But apart from that, we need to, make our classrooms also like that they are not solely dependent on NCERT. So HOTS are going to focus over three aspects of cognitive thinking: analyze, evaluate, and create. Once you have understood HOTS, you can analyze and evaluate complex information easily, categorize and connect the facts, troubleshoot for solutions, do big picture thinking, problem solving, hypothesis formulations. It's a part of advanced cognitive thinking. HOTS came into limelight because of this man, Benjamin S. Bloom. He gave a taxonomy in his one of researches. It is a framework for teaching learning process in which he highlighted 6 levels of cognitive thinking. I hope this pyramid is visible to everybody. First comes knowledge, then comprehension, then application, then analysis, then synthesis, and then evaluation. Now, if we want to plan our lesson according to this taxonomy, we can do it. Mostly for any subject, we can do it. I have taken the example for gravitational pull. How we can explain gravity using this taxonomy in brief to the students. I'll tell you that. First of all, if I talk about gravity, then Earth has gravity. This is called basic knowledge. Knowledge means factual information, which the student has to learn. Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. All the planets revolve around sun. Earth has a pull called gravity. These are all basic facts, basic knowledge, which he has to remember, which he has to repeat, reiterate. Based on this knowledge, he will then try to comprehend or understand the phenomena that are occurring around. We'll give him examples to understand this concept. For example, how we can prove that Earth has gravity? Just throw a ball. It comes back to the ground because Earth is having some force, and the force is called gravity. Application. Now you actually take student to the ground and ask him to throw a ball. When I went to 2-3 sessions before this one, I took balls with me and I literally did that in the classroom. The teachers laughed. But then I told them that this is the purpose of teaching, that you should enjoy teaching. You are not an employee boss. You are a teacher. You are not a corporate employee. Ki aao, syllabus karao and take money and leave. That is not the purpose. You are here to build future. That's why you are in this line. That's why destiny has put you in this line. You need to apply that knowledge and link it with the real life. So take the student to the ground one day and ask him to throw a ball. Just one lecture you have to give. Or else you can simply give them a ball and do it in the classroom. If you can't take them to the lawn, PT teacher datega na. Okay, take them into the class only. No. Take the ball and just throw it and see and let them observe. Yes, the ball comes down. Newton realized gravity through falling off an apple. So we need to give that application. After application, then we come to the next part, which is a technical one and which requires high order thinking. This is not low order thinking. This requires some depth on our part. Analysis. We need to find the broken dots, make a pattern, correlate them, and give meaningful conclusions related to our teaching and subject. For example, I throw a ball up, I throw a feather. They both fall down, but they fall at different rates. Why? When this why comes into picture, analytical mind starts working. Curiosity to find answer of why brings analysis into picture. Why is this happening? They both are being pulled by same gravitational force. They both have same G applicable over them equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Then why is that ball is falling quickly and the feather is just falling so slow? Then you will relate it that there is one more thing in the environment apart from gravity, which is called air resistance. And there is one more concept related to gravity, which is called mass. These all three things are interplaying In case of feather, the mass is so light that even air resistance is able to hold it for some time. That's why it's falling slowly. But in case of ball, the mass is such that air resistance is not able to hold it, and gravity wins and it brings it back quickly. You need to tell these concepts through such examples. You have projectors, you have IT equipments. You can simply show them in the form of video if you can't do it in the class. One lecture is required per week for these things in order to revise it. Synthesis, now you combine the information to make it a whole, like Newton's complete theory of gravity. And then we evaluate, we critique, we judge for the synthesized information. How we can design rockets to break the gravity. When this question came up, this was based on critique and judgment of gravitational pull. Newton said, whatever thing you throw up, it will come down. Scientists questioned, we want to explore space. We need to break the gravity. How we can do it? We need to evaluate whether it can be broken or not. And yes, it can be broken. Rockets can break this gravitational pull. So these, all the levels of gravity, these all concepts of gravity can be taught easily with Bloom's taxonomy. This was the old version, 1956. The lower skills, remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. The lower skills, which I'm talking about here, these are low order thinking skills. In the old taxonomy, they were called knowledge, comprehension, application. The upper skills, analyze, evaluate, create. Earlier, they were called analyze, synthesis, evaluation. They are higher order thinking skills. Now, what changed in new taxonomy? First of all, nouns became verbs. Knowledge became the verb remember. Comprehension became the verb understand. Application became the verb apply. Now, what is the meaning of changing noun to the verb? Earlier, the taxonomy was focusing on children's mental get-up. That, okay, we have to just, make them learn what is being taught in the class. We won't change our pedagogy. Jo padhana hai, we will teach that. They will have to adjust according to the curriculum. But today, the taxonomy says that you have to change your pedagogy. You have to act. You have to be the verb in order to bring it into action and in order to make the students learn those things very easily. You will have to bring those techniques. So new taxonomy is focusing on changing the teaching pedagogy. I have taken an example of structure of heart and how we can use it, how we can use this example to understand how the new Bloom's taxonomy works. Cardiac arrest example has been taken here. It's a high level example, but you can simply use these levels to teach cardiac arrest also using, Bloom's taxonomy. You can teach the entire working of heart, the chambers of heart, how the heart thickens, how the pumping problem occurs, how we can reduce it through analysis of the patients over a period of time, how we can judge whether the medicine we are applying is proper or not, how we can create a new alternative medicine. All that can be understood through Bloom's taxonomy only. So this is all covered in, new version, cardiac arrest, but I'll skip this for a while. So old versus new, I have already told you the comparison. First of all, the nouns became verbs. Now the focus is on changing the teaching style, not making children learn what is being taught in the class. First. Second, synthesis becomes create and it is at 6th level. Evaluation becomes evaluate and it is at 5th level. Now, why this is done? Before you create a new theory, judge whether it is capable of becoming a new theory. Evaluate first, then create. Don't create and then evaluate. So the Lauren W. Anderson, who was an associate of Bloom, he rectified Bloom's taxonomy in 2001, and he simply said that we will create after doing all the 5 stages, lower order and higher order, all the 5. Then we'll create something new. Now, you must be wondering how we can implement HOTS in the class. What are the strategies to implement HOTS? Let me just throw some light over them. First is one of the most oldest techniques, debates. We all know it. We hold separate competitions for it once in a year, and only few students participate. So that is the flaw on our part. We can have a debating session once in the class. It opens up communication skills of the students. They will become good communicators. They will become good leaders. So use debating. It is very suitable for English, history, political science, psychology, and social sciences. Great technique. And you can use trending topics. ChatGPT, useful learning tool, or is it killing the learning acumen? Most of my students, they are using ChatGPT to create project reports of 30-40 pages. And when they came to me and when I examined, I simply caught them by asking meaning of one heavy word which was used in the project. I told them, "Mujhe bhi nahi aata. Tell me." He was stuck. And then he said, "I have copied from ChatGPT." So there we need to work on. They are becoming very dependent on technology. They need to be told the pros and the cons both. And they need to be emphasized over this thing that, boss, your own mind will work with you in every situation. Even the shadow lives in darkness. How can you depend over smartphone? We need to tell them that. So debating is required. And it should be done at least once in class. NEP, is it going to benefit learners and academicians, or is it just a political stint? I can question it, because earlier 4-year program was launched in the Indian curriculum for universities. I'm a college teacher. I've seen that scenario. 4-year BCom BBA were launched. Massive protest happened at DU and it was withdrawn. And now again, we are shifting back to the same curriculum through some changes. So is it really going to benefit? Or is it again, something to improve the image? We need to ask such questions with the students. It opens up their mind. Second technique that we can apply is role play. This is a very good technique, especially for business studies and marketing. Teachers who are teaching BST, they can use this technique. Consumer Protection Act, you can explain that entire chapter through a role play between buyer and seller using the provisions of Consumer Protection Act 1986. Let the students make the script. This should simply come to you for asking suggestions, for just taking advice that what type of dialogue should we keep, what type of tone should we keep. You should go with this track. Let them make the script. I was in my 11th standard and I liked stage a lot. I like to speak. You must be getting this idea from my tone only. I'm sitting in my home. I'm sitting in my room, and the way I'm speaking is more than taking a class. So I really loved speaking and I really like to talk. In that zeal, I went to my teacher and I simply asked her one thing: can we have a role play between an interviewer and a leader like Pranab Mukherjee? She liked the idea and she allowed me to write the script. And I took around 10-11 days to write the script along with my friend. I used to go to the ma'am in her free time in staff room, consult her for her advice related to the tone. And she used to guide me so well. And the play was such a beautiful act that she decided to implement it in future with other students also. Use these techniques. You all know it, but we are not applying it because we are rushing towards completing the curriculum. And then we say students are not doing HOTS. Imagination open nahi hai. They don't want to imagine. They don't want to think beyond the books, beyond out of box. You have to make it. Third strategy that you can employ, some fun activities. Think, pair, share. This is one of the fun activities. Just give them some notes. Ask them to make pair with their friends or with other classmates. It would be advisable if they pair with some other classmate, not with their friend. Then simply you can make according to roll numbers. Simply ask them to write about this topic, whatever questions and whatever views come into their mind related to this topic. This is again related to English, pol science, social science, business studies. You can use this technique. One more technique is concentric circles. Mathematics. is there everywhere. You can apply this technique in your class. One lecture or two lectures you can take. We get free lectures in school so much that we use it in checking notebooks and passing the time. At that time, play with students. Make them your friends. You can do it with this game. Simply it says make two circles, one inner and the other outer. A student from the inner circle will ask another student standing parallelly to him in the outer circle any question that he feels he's stuck. They will be given a specific amount of time to discuss and solve. If it is done, well and good, they will get a point. If it is not done, then the student will jump on to the next student in the outer circle only. He'll stay in the inner circle, but he will jump to the other outer person in the outer circle. So you can use this technique, concentric circles. It can be used for mathematics also. Using picture clues, amazing technique. And wordless picture books. Remember the photo of the boy driving the cycle? It was a wordless picture. Yes, it is inside outside circle also. Thank you for the new synonym. Yeah, thank you. And you can use wordless picture books like I used the picture. I only asked you guys. आप लोगों ने questions बनाए हैं. You only created the questions. You only gave the suggestions. I didn't do anything. I simply showed the picture. Do it with your students. Ask them to write an essay over it. Ask them to write a poem over it. Ask them to write a story over it. Most of the students fail in spoken English. That is a problem. They are good at written. They are failure in spoken. Improve their confidence. Improve their learning acumen by giving them this opportunity. Thought bubbles. You can just put up a picture in front of a student related to any lesson of literature and ask them to write what they feel about the character. Narrative, what we call. Narrative of the character. Illusory pictures. You can use these also. This picture is depicting a young girl and an old girl. Ask the student to write a story or a poem over this related to age. This is a picture showing two tigers, but two are at the back. It is optically illusory picture. These are good for increasing their sensory powers, which will further enhance analysis. We have apps, Kahoot, quizzes, and there is one more app, Prep AI. It's a good one. I'll simply go through it at the end of the lecture. I'll give 4 to 5 minutes for it. It can be used to create HOTS-based MCQ quiz, HOTS-based tests, and you can decide how many questions you want. And according to Bloom's taxonomy, you can create the quiz. Options are given in this app, Prep AI. I'll share the link with you guys in the chat towards the end of the session. Next, memes I've already covered. Flip the class and flip the script. Generally, you ask questions and students, they respond. Sometimes reverse the roles. You become the student and let them become the teacher. Give them a 10 by 10 exercise, 10 minutes, 10 questions on a particular topic. You can make it a peer learning exercise. You can do it in groups. They can form groups. You can allow a specific number of groups in that class to make questions, and you can allow the rest to answer these questions if you don't want to answer. So this flip the class is based on Bloom's taxonomy only. Before the class, we'll do lower order thinking, remember and understanding. During the class, we will apply and analyze the concepts through examples. After the class, we let them create questions and let them evaluate their understanding. Putting a spin on lesson starter. Spin is this one. I hope this slide is visible. Pythagoras theorem is a famous concept. We all have learnt it in 8th, 9th standards. We know P square plus B square is equal to H square. Perpendicular plus base ka square will equal to hypotenuse square. Fine. Now I have given a right angle triangle. I'm already telling it is a right angle triangle. But how would you prove your answer? Now the student has to apply Pythagoras theorem to prove this statement is true. And if it is not done, then it is false. Student has to prove this thing that it is right using Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So Pythagoras theorem is being learned in a reversal manner. This is called spin. You use it once you have done the curriculum, once you have told the Pythagoras theorem. This is another exercise. Give them a case study. Sarah completed the following lesson starter. Her final answers are shown in red. She has made some mistakes. Calculate 15 minus 6 into 2. She was given this board mass problem. Answer 3. She was asked to solve this linear equation in one variable. Answer 4. She was asked to find out the parameter. Answer is 24. And this is the shape. Now you guys judge whether she has done it right or not. Find her mistakes and correct her work and correct the answers. Give such exercises. 5th, 6th, 7th class students must be given such tasks. From there only we can develop their high order thinking. Then 11वीं 12वीं में it will not be an issue. It will not be a problem in 11th and 12th. Once we have developed their higher acumen at lower standards. Next, the 4-4 challenge. This is all based on maths. We can create numbers between 1 and 20 using 4 4s and mathematical operations. Ask the students, give them an hour to do this exercise, and then you will see such results should come up. Now these things, they develop the higher acumen when they have to think, and you have to give time to let them think. We can't expect them to give them the output within a minute, within 2 minutes, within 3 minutes, within 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some students will take an hour. Okay, let them take the hour. 1 class, 2 class maximum. Mostly the syllabus is completed by January. Free timing is there. Teachers have some spare time with them. Devote that. You guys are better planners. You make the entire lesson plan for the year. I, being a college teacher, I used to make it only for 1 semester. School teachers make it for an entire year. So you guys are much more better planners. You have all the tools and kits with you, but you need to just apply and analyze how to apply. You have to apply HOTS on your lesson plan and framework. Then you will see the results. Other techniques are also there. You can have group discussions. You can have interactive touchscreen platforms like GEG always does. They always tell about quizzes, Edpuzzle. ViewSonic whiteboard can be coupled with GeoGebra type tools. ViewSonic whiteboard is there in some schools. I also attended a workshop related to ViewSonic whiteboard. It's an amazing hardware and software platform. So those who are having such interactive user platforms, they can couple it with such tools. Concept maps, flow charts, Venn diagrams can be applied to explain such concepts. Okay. So how we can put questions related to HOTS? We can use these synonyms for analytical questions. Use these much words while you are posing analytical questions in your curriculum. Analytical questions will look like this. What conclusions can we draw from the passage? What is the premise behind the concept? How would you explain significance of non-cooperation movement by Gandhiji? What is the significance of trigonometry in real life? One of my students, he came up and he asked why I learned trigonometry. Then I told him, if you had been an engineer and if you had been constructing the metro outside my home, you would not be able to do it without trigonometry. You would not be able to erect even a pillar without trigonometry. Sin theta, cos theta, tan theta are not merely sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. They are the instruments for engineering, bro. You are not applying it. That does not mean it is waste. And we apply it whenever, even we are playing a dart game, we are applying it. We throw it with an angle. We throw it with a proper measurement. When you are hitting the bat with the ball and when you see the highlights over the TV, showing the angle, showing the height, everywhere it is being applied, bro. Then he was calmed down. Maths should have one theory question. चाहे 2 marker का हो, maths should have one theory or practical, real life question to make students understand that yes, boss, this is not merely rote learning. This is actually applied in engineering and in real life. One theory question should be there. I felt this need when I was learning maths. Hinge questions can be there. You can simply ask, after telling them the slope, what is the gradient of the line joining the point? Most of the students will be stuck with this word gradient. Gradient is slope. Now they have not heard this word as much, they'll forget it. You tell them through the lecture, slope is gradient, repeat it twice, thrice, then put question where you use the word gradient. Confuse them. Once they are confused, they will realize they need to work hard. They need to be a bit critical and analytical. They might think it as a chord. They might think it as a length between 2 points. They might think it anyway, an arc between the 2 points. But they need to know that this formula has to be applied. Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Evaluate. Now let me show you one video. Okay, if Amit sir, should I stop the lecture right now or should I continue? So you can write it in chat or write it.
Demonstrate about that prep AI. So I think if we can continue for next maximum 5 to 7 minutes,
Okay.
and I'm sure everyone would like to get this knowledge from him. So please stay connected for next 10 minutes maximum.
Okay.
So then only the feedback form will be shared with you all. So please stay connected. Yeah,
Sir,
please, Mr. Manchanda,
one
continue.
humble request
It's
from
really going
my
amazing.
side. One humble request from my side. Kindly share the feedback form with me also and the responses. I want the responses actually.
Yeah, that is our culture. I will be sharing that with you.
Okay,
We'll
thank
do
you
it.
so much. And I really thank all the faculties, all the teachers, primary to senior secondary. You all really are a very good audience. Your thumbs up in between, your responses in between, these motivate us to work hard and make ourselves better and better. My PPT got improved because Dr. Bajaj continuously instructed me, you should keep it more practical, you should keep more examples, you should make it interesting, you should have consider it according to time. Sir instructed me and guided me so well. I thought it was his session, that he was taking it like that. So thank you, Dr. Bajaj, for such being such a humble person.
Mr. Manchanda, are you speaking or doing something? We can't hear you. You are not audible. Yeah, hi Swaraj. Can you listen? Can you listen to me? You are not audible. You are not audible, Swaraj. I think there's some network issue. I can't hear you.
Sir, you may call him.
Yeah, I know. I have to do it. Yeah, give me a couple of seconds.
Sir, meanwhile, if you can share the feedback form.
Yeah, there is some technical issue at Swaraj, so he will be joining soon. So what I will do, meanwhile, let me quickly demonstrate one simple idea. Let me go with sharing my screen with you. Give me a second. So I am quickly demonstrating one of the tools which I really like the most, and that some of you might have heard about the same. So if you can confirm if my screen is visible. Is my screen is visible? Magic School AI? No. Okay, few are saying yes, few are saying no. So that's very difficult for me to understand. I think it is now visible. There is some technical error even I am also facing at my end. Yeah, is it visible now? Meena ma'am, can you please confirm?
No, sir, not to me. That's why I'm searching your
Uh,
name. If I could ping.
okay, actually, let me do one thing. Let me share my whole screen and then check it out. Okay, lot of thumbs up were there, but anyway, let me now share my whole screen, entire screen. Then definitely it will be visible. Now, can you please confirm? Is it visible? Yeah, I could see now a lot of thumbs up. So you can see on my screen the idea of a magic school.ai. I'll be sharing that link in the chat box. As Mr. Manchanda was referring about the various ideas how to incorporate and create your HOTS. So here you will see one of the possible options out of among hundreds of various tools which are provided by Magic School AI. In fact, we are planning to have a separate session on this Magic School AI by the end of this month itself. But I will be focusing on one part, and that is DOK questions. DOK simply refer to your depth of knowledge, which we generally call as HOTS. So once I click on it, it will ask me the grade. Grade whatever grade you want. So let me say choose the grade as 8th class only, and what topic I want. I can mention the topic, the standard, and what type of objective I want. So let me say choose the force and inertia, something like this. I can always upload some file also, and let me click on generate. So you will see it will start generating the questions based on the 4 level of hierarchy based on Bloom's taxonomy. So can you see level 1? So this is our basic recall, measure, and so on. Then level 2 based question, and then based on level 3 and level 4. So level 3 and level 4 basically they comes under the heading of critical thinking, right, and analyzing, and that's actually our thoughts. Now say a good number of questions are created, but as a teacher I should know their answers. I can try by myself, or next message I can always write over here that please provide me the answers to these questions also, and let me click on send. So whatever question I did ask, now it is providing me with the possible solutions, possible answers. So I have one basic idea about the problem. Can you see this particular problem based on the higher order like thinking skill? Investigate how inertia plays a role in car safety measure. And a probable answer is also provided. But there may be more possibilities, so which you can always ask your students to provide. So please do not trust the AI blindly. Take the ideas from that, and definitely you can always ask questions related to this. When I go down, you will see, could you provide examples of activities that align with each DOK level? When I click on it, it will now start generating the various different ideas. So whatever are feasible and practical in your own school situation, you can simply copy that, or you can always make certain changes accordingly. So this is one of the basic tool which I wanted to demonstrate, and since the time is less, so I will not take it further, and I'll be sharing a link with you. That's a wonderful tool. You all must try it out. Thank you. So Mr. Manchanda, are you here now? Mr. Manchanda is here. Meena ma'am, can you please confirm? So I'm meanwhile sharing the feedback form also. So see, when we are in that, yeah, there is some issue in the meet. I can understand it's happening. It's technology. So once we are meeting, say offline, the day will come. We all will interact and meet with each other in offline mode. Definitely, there will be a great learning. So a feedback form is shared with you, which contains your participation certificate also. So you just need to click on it, save the link, click on it, and you will get your feedback, that certificate in your email ID. And please fill the feedback form very carefully. Do not forget to write the correct spellings of your email. Sometimes I have seen educators, when they are in hurry, they simply write, say, abc@gmail की जगह gmail.com. So a simple spelling mistake will land into something else. You will not get your certificate. So once you fill in the participate this link, you will be getting your certificate. And I'm sure you had a wonderful experience. Mr. Manchanda, are you here? So please check out. Give me a second. I have a call from Mr. Manchanda only. Hello. अच्छा चलो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है मैं वैसे आप सुन पा रहे हो ना Yeah, so sorry for the technical glitch. So I'm sharing that link once again in the chat box. I'm sure it is visible to all of you in the chat box. The feedback participation certificate link. In fact, Mr. Manchanda was trying to tell you about another very wonderful tool. Prep AI, but that definitely we can have the separate session on that. Yeah, Prep AI. So we can have the separate session on that also. Form is not opening. Let me see. Meena ma'am, can you please try out looking at this form? Try filling this form.
I'm checking, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, it is opening,
Because
sir.
I checked in the, it is opening
Open,
because I
open.
tried out in the morning itself. Yeah.
It is opening.
And I could see, yeah, more than 60, 70 participants have already filled and got their certificate also. 194, 201. Yeah. So it is working very well. So please check out your internet connection if you are not able to fill this. And the certificates will also be available actually in one of the Google Drive link, which is also being shared with you all. So direct email, it will be provided. Or if you are not able to get your certificate via your email, you can check it out on the following link also. But provided you have filled correctly your email ID and your every details being asked in that feedback form. So do not forget to fill this feedback form. I have received more than 315 entries. So it is working well. So I'm sure it was a wonderful experience for all of you. And as I received a call from Mr. Manchanda, he is not able to unmute himself. So let me now present the vote of thanks on the behalf of our Google Educator group, GG Daily West. So on behalf of GG Daily West and all the participants, I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to you, Mr. Swaraj, for sharing your valuable insights on the topic higher order thinking skills, practical applications in the classroom and beyond. We are grateful for your expertise, passion, and dedication to education. Your session has been incredibly insightful and inspiring, leaving us with a number of practical strategies to enhance our teaching practices. A big thanks to all the educators who have joined us today. Your active participation and engagement made this webinar a success. So let's continue to learn, share, inspire, and empower each other. Thank you once again, and we look forward to more such enriching sessions in future. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. So I am stopping the recording, but you can stay connected in case if you have any doubt. Thank you and have a great day. Namaskar. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.